Hi guys, this is Breaker, and I'm back with a cast that I took from Drop.sc, and apparently it's between a High Masters level player and a GM. Newkirk Precinct would be the map of choice that we have between both players, and it looks like this is just an ordinary ladder game. Alright, so here we go. Spawning as our Protoss in the lower right hand corner, his name is cShew. I think I'll just call him Shu from now on. He belongs to a clan by the name of CG. Not entirely sure what that, what those two letters would be representative of, but here we go. In the lower left-hand corner, our Zerg underdog in the blue trunks. He's only High Masters, but Masters rank 1 is still pretty good. I give you WLHadam, and as I give him his intro, he actually misclicked and sent all his drones to a single mineral patch. I'm guessing, you know, I don't know. I've seen some players just rage quit because of that, but I don't know, that was on the Korean ladder, and that was in Platinum League, so yeah. And WLHadam says BS Diamond versus GM. Excuse me. You know, I'll admit I've been in those shoes before, you know, it's just not pretty playing that one game against Scarlet. But since we got some fill-in time, I'm going to go ahead and talk about my thoughts on the recently announced WCS. I saw that there were a lot of countries left out. My main concern, however, is China and Taiwan, their spots in the WCS. I want to say out of those two regions, there's only maybe 3 players who really stand a chance of getting into the Battle.net World Championships via the Korean route, and they're all going to have to... I just don't know how this is going to work out. You know, if I was reading correctly, the implications of the WCS are just that... you know, Blizzard's gonna contribute more prize pool to the GSL, more prize pool to the MLG, more prize pool to IEM. IEM I've worked with on numerous occasions, but the problem is I just, you know, I kind of wish that there was something else. I mean, I wish there was more to it. I wish they would, you know, kind of open up TESL, open up their doors to TESL, and also open up their doors to Neo TV Star League. This would actually, I think, get more viewership on board. The only thing that's really working to the detriment of the Neo TV Star League would be the fact that, you know, right now there is no Heart of the Swarm in China. There's just Wings of Liberty. Pylon block going down at the natural, by the way. That's really going to delay Hadam's income. His drones have to travel all the way from the main to what is like the third here, and it looks like this probe is going to come in here, just check on it, see if it's brewing. He's got a cannon on the way home, at home in a defensive fashion, and it looks like he's not going to try any shenanigans at the third. So we got some more macro time coming up. I'm thinking this is probably going to eventually lead into some kind of a pressure. But, you know, I mean, this is kind of selfish to think that it's just going to be, you know, it's kind of selfish of me to just mention that China and Taiwan have been left out. Because there's also South America, the regional qualifiers for there. I'm sure there's other, oh yes, there's also the Southeast Asian regional finals. That would be Australia, New Zealand, the Philippines, of course. You know, it's just, I just feel like this increasingly dashes the hopes of many players who are not Korean, North American, or European. I did make a thread on neotv.cn about it, and it rapidly garnered replies. Third going down here, kind of late for Hadam. Really further behind what he wants to be, so you know we're definitely gonna see an economic discrepancy, especially as the third is just now finished up for our Zerg. Alright, so a couple of links hunting down a probe here, and I don't think we're gonna see any proxy pylons anytime soon, and this is interesting. Oh, I'm sorry, I thought we were gonna see some units getting cranked out here, but I actually didn't pay attention to what was in the production tab. Forward cybernetics core going down for Shu, and looks like the Gateway's first zealot's going to get cranked out, and momentarily afterwards we're going to see a stalker, perhaps? Yes, we are. No, a sentry, a sentry. Interesting choice. This, to me... Okay, basically what I can tell you is Stargate may be going down shortly because the sentry is supposed to act as a kind of defensive. The sentry is supposed to act as a basically defensive unit, not letting anything into scout, which is actually more important, I think, than what do you call it? Than cranking out a stalker at this point. But it's an interesting choice from our GM player. He really understands the meta game. We do have gateway tech on the way, but I don't know. Maybe this is just going to be some kind of a... I don't know. We don't have gas just yet. This is a little hard to read into. Typically... Okay, this is kind of reminiscent of a classical Wings of Liberty opener, but here we go. He's going for an early third. Really good against Zerg, in the words of, I believe, Axel Toss. It came from somebody at an interview in MLG, and it looks like Hadam is trying to get us around on this Zealot, really lay waste to the units that Protoss is going to lose. And now he's actually very alert to the third here. He's going to try and make some damage happen, at least try and get a cancel on this pylon, but I think the Mama Ship Core is going to come over here and take care of this, no problem. Gateways and other infrastructure just being tacked on, one pylon being cancelled, and if we look at both players' losses right now, it's a little heavier for cShew than it is for Hadam. But this, of course, screams to Hadam that he has to go ahead and take a third. It looks like he is not going that route, and he's going to add on pressure. He doesn't have metabolic boost. He's got a lot of lings in production, slow lings at that. And he's tacking on more hatcheries. So this is telling me that perhaps we're going to see some kind of all-in. He doesn't have enough gas just yet for metabolic boost, but he's got 30 lings in production. I've seen this kind of strategy initiated at the Neo TV Star League. Of course, the map was Daybreak LE. Excuse me, not Daybreak LE, but Neo TV Daybreak. And now we got just nothing but a bunch of slowlings and a Twilight Council going down behind this. Gateway's finishing up, so it looks like, you know, if we see Hadam really elect to go forward with this, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. Metabolic boost finally going down. And it looks like he's going to go straight into the natural, or at least try. These lings are going to get in. Question is, what kind of damage are they going to do afterwards? And cShew's just like, WTF, tabbed out, not cool. I guess he was just thinking, okay, it's just some diamond kid, but now we just have the lings. In the main, trying to get some damage done, but it looks like probe kills are actually quite minimal. He's manually targeting down many probes here. And it looks like hitherto now, he got about 6 probe kills. It's kind of, you know, delayed cShew's income for now. We got more slowlings going in over here at the third. If we just check out the income right now, it's kind of in favor of Hadam, but he really needs to get the gas going. He needs to tech up. He is getting layer tech. He's adding on more gas at the natural, the main. What about the third? Yes, he's taking that just now. But he also has to take a fourth behind this. He said that his main was not Zerg, so I do not blame him for making these kinds of decisions. He is Masters rank 1, but he said in the beginning of this game he was just Diamond. He showed up as Masters rank 1 on drop.sc, so if this is a mistake by me, do please forgive me. I'm just reading what I was shown. Alright, so here we go. You know, Protoss is moving out with minimal forces right now. I think if we see the proper reaction from Hadam, he can probably hold this attack, but right now all he has is lings. He's going to need things like roaches. The lings will burn force fields, yes, but oh, and that is going to be a beautiful surround on the main forces. Oh, man. And it looks like that basically prompted cShew to pull back everything that he has. You know, one of the Immortals actually lost its shields. He's like, okay, great, so what do I do now? Just recall, we're good to go. And, Phoenix comes in here, sees that there is no... he hasn't even tried to scout the fourth. And we have all these lings coming in here. They're trying to get in and do damage wherever they can. Beautiful SimCity by cShew. He's really starting to hold off this attack, and it looks like maybe at most we'll see a couple of photon cannons get cancelled, but this is an exchange that is not going Hadam's route at all. He didn't even get, I don't think, did he get a sentry kill there? I can't really tell. Alright, so here we go. Behind this he does have a Spire follow-up, but he really needs to take a fourth. That's the biggest concern that I have for him right now. It's going to affect his income, and I apologize for the that you guys just heard, because that is my Chinese messenger program QQ going off in the background. I'm a little torn between alt-tabbing and turning it off, and just letting the game continue and flow out. I think I'll just let it go for now. Alright, and these Lings are going to come over here and see if there is a fourth for Protoss. There is not. Hadam not really having quite the most sophisticated understanding of Zerg versus Protoss, but of course, as said before, it's not his main. So far having some okay performance, but pure Ling is not going to do it. Ling Muta will be a different story, however, as we do have the Spire finishing up with an excess of 2,000 gas. If he can get good surrounds with the current composition that we see from our Protoss, then, you know, I think he'll be in good shape. But this is the one and only time he's going to have. The Spire did just finish up. We need to see those Mutas in production. Warp Prism coming into the main. The Lings try to come back and counteract that. And meanwhile, we got a counterattack going down here from Hadam, putting those Lings on hold. And it seems as though, you know, cShew is not really too concerned with it. And cShew's thinking that his opponent took a fourth up in this direction, just assuming it. And again, I emphasize that Zerg is not the main race of Hadam, so he actually does not have a fourth here. He doesn't too terribly understand ZVP metagaming, but this should definitely be alerting him to the fact that there is now a huge army pushing at his third. And I think he's got more than enough mutas to deal with what's on the ground here. Yes, that is a lot, and they all just instantly recall. There are a few Zealots left in the third, doing some economic damage, getting a lot of drone kills. And with that, we see the main force of cShew where? At the natural. Here we go. Behind this, we see he's cranking out Phoenixes to deal with the Mutas. Excellent choice considering he had two Stargates going down in the background. And he also got his Templar Archives, but he's not started Storm just yet. He's got enough money to do so now, but it looks like he's going to hold off on that for the time being. These Lings coming back around here, and now we have to see Hadam do something with these Zerglings and Mutas, otherwise he's just not, he's gonna be really far behind. He already is considerably far behind because he doesn't have a fourth. He's doing a good job of containing our Protoss so far, but his Protoss opponent has not revealed that he has Phoenixes, and it looks like the Mutas are coming in here trying to get some kills on whatever is important. That would be the Immortals, the Sentries. He's not going for Roaches just yet, and it looks like he's got 9 more Mutas on the way. He's going to add them to his hotkey here relatively soon. Perhaps just a misclick, but he hasn't just yet. So altogether, we have 24 Mutas out on the map. And it looks like they're going into the natural, and if they do this right, they can get a lot of pro kills in just a couple of swoops, but it looks like the Phoenixes have shown up to the party, and they are the bigger threat for the Mutas right now. Mutas only having a range of 3 in this game. It looks like they might get 1 or 2 Phoenix kills, but that's about it. Phoenix is just flying directly into their path, and now what we had before as a sprawling Muta army is now nothing more than blood and guts falling to the ground at the main. That's a lot of Lings and a lot of Mutas, but you know, I think we're gonna see cShew hold off against this. General rule of thumb, if you're playing Zerg, you do not want to be on even supply against your opponent. You want to be close to 30 supply above your opponent at any given time, and behind this we see that cShew is going to try and take this for his fourth. The Mutas are going to fly into it, but they're not going to attack it. And we have, it looks like, Hadam following this up with Hydralisk Den. Meanwhile, the Lings are going to get a decent surround on this main army and a single Zealot. Force field's being burned on a lot of sentries. And it looks like the Mutas here just decimated a mineral line. Yes, they did at the main. That means, oh my god, and there's just even more economic damage going down here as the main army deals with this. But so many charge lots are coming in here to deal with the third of our Zerg player that we're going to see cShew gradually winning this game. He's got a fourth up and running. Sure, he's taken a lot of economic damage, but now we can see that for our Zerg it's even worse. 96 Lings and 26 Hydras in production. Kind of a classic Brood War composition, if you will. And I want to think that maybe we actually see, I think we could see Hadam with a chance to hold this. There's not too many force fields on these sentries, but if they are placed in just the right position, he will be good to go. Here we go. Looks like the Lings are coming in for a surround of some sort. Where are the Hydras in all of this? Here they are, and it looks like we see our Protoss forced to pull back. Of course, a few sentries do get left over and put behind. Phoenixes, oh my god, they were absolutely decimated. So we have a 3-base Zerg going up against a 4-base Protoss, and he does not have the superior supply count just yet. But conversely, we don't see the ideal... Oh, we do see somewhat an ideal unit composition. There's a lot of High Templar here. Ling's going into the natural. It looks like this is basically going to be a full-out harass movement while we see some Hydras trying to engage the main army. Ling's going into the main. It looks like they're not going to get the engagement that they want, and we have basically a 2-base, you know, superficially speaking, a 2-base income Zerg going against a 1-base income Zerg versus a 3-base income Protoss. If we check it right now, it's actually nowhere near what Hadam wants to be. He just left the game after losing all those Hydras and the Lings, which I did miss. Let's go back and see that real quick. Yes, here they are. They try to move in for the engagement. Storm's going down in beautiful fashion. And that's just not good for Hadam. He loses all of his Lings right here to Zealots. And that's GG, ladies and gentlemen. He sees the army's going to move back over here. He's got nothing in terms of production. He pulled all his drones. He didn't put any over here. He had lots of idle workers over here. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time. Just go ahead and click on the follow button, please. Thank you. Excuse me, click on the subscribe button.